Let's do that song for people. Sunlight on the skin when I'm not around.
How's it going, guys? It's your boy D-Money here, and today we watching Why the Grammys Are a Joke by Embray Eric. Before we get into the video, y'all already know the link to the video is going to be linked in the description, and the channel is going to be linked in the description box too. Let's get straight into it.
For decades, winning a Grammy has been seen as the ultimate stamp of greatness in the music industry. But lately, that idea started to fall apart. With some of the biggest and most influential artists in the world getting completely snubbed by the Recording Academy, fans are asking why. One of the most controversial snubs, especially recently, is The Weeknd. You see, in the early 2010s, The Weeknd was practically the poster boy for the Grammys. He represented everything they wanted: talent, artistry, and commercial success. This led to his first Grammy nomination in 2014. Years later, he won his first Grammy for Best Urban Contemporary Album for Beauty Behind the Madness, along with Best R&B Performance for Earn It. He also won in 2018 for Starboy. The Weeknd was on top of the world. It seemed like he was the next Taylor Swift, bound to sweep the award show for years to come. But at his peak, this is where things went downhill. In 2020, The Weeknd released After Hours. This was one of the biggest albums of all time. Of course, it debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 with Blinding Lights charting as well. Not only did it reach #1, but it is now known as the most streamed song of all time. No other artist had reached heights like this. Given this information, The Weeknd was bound to sweep the Grammys. But oh boy, we were wrong. Despite the record success, After Hours didn't receive a single nomination. Not even hit tracks like Save Your Tears and especially Blinding Lights. Yes, the Grammys are opinion-based, but you would think commercial success would have a play in it, especially being the most streamed song of all time. Abel was livid. In response to the controversy, The Weeknd spoke out on Twitter. The Grammys remain corrupt. You owe me, my fans, and the industry transparency. Thus, he boycotted the awards ceremony for years. The Grammys' viewership suddenly dropped by half. I'm sure other factors were involved, but having the most famous artist in the world speaking out against an institution, there's definitely going to be some negative effects.
Nah, yeah. Once they find out one of their big tickets is no longer like messing with them anymore, that could automatically tell them, like, yeah, this Grammy shit might not work for a while.
5 years passed and The Weeknd still boycotted. Finally, in 2025, the Recording Academy reached out to him to make amends. The two parties made peace. The agreement was announced at the 67th Awards, following with a performance by The Weeknd and Playboi Carti.
I'm so honored to leave you with a sentence that I wasn't sure would ever be said on the Grammy stage again. Please join me in welcoming back The Weeknd.
The relationship was restored, and with the release of The Weeknd's final album, Hurry Up Tomorrow, it was certain to be nominated, but yet again we were wrong. Despite being critically acclaimed, Hurry Up Tomorrow didn't receive a single nomination, not even a single track. Timeless was one of the most popular songs of the year, but no nomination in sight. It shocked me that Doechie's Anxiety received a nomination instead, and don't get me wrong, I'm a Doechii fan, but I don't think that Anxiety was better than Timeless. This was a spit in the face. The Weeknd responded on Twitter saying, collaboratively planning a performance for weeks, not to be invited? In my opinion, 0 nominations equals you're not invited. But The Weeknd wasn't the only artist put on the sidelines. Playboi Carti is one of the most innovative artists in hip-hop. He shook the industry in 2020 with the release of Whole Lotta Red. This album changed the game. It completely redefined the rage genre, inspiring a generation of artists. Whole Lotta Red charted at #1 on the Billboard 200 and spent 153 weeks on the charts. This elevated Carti from being a rapper to a legitimate artist. Unfortunately, Whole Lotta Red didn't receive a Grammy nomination, which wasn't much a surprise. This form of rage music was fresh. People needed time to let it settle. Maybe the next album will have a shot. After 5 years of teasers and hype, Carti dropped I Am Music. This wasn't just an album, it was a cultural shift. It was not only the biggest streaming day of 2025, but it was the 7th largest streaming day in Spotify history. Of course, the album debuted as #1 on the charts. The album...
I still got I Am Music in the playlist. Oh God, like in The Weeknd too. I still got they songs on the playlist. At the end of the day, in my opinion, I think none of these award shows really matter. I feel like if I was a big artist, I would more care about my fans' opinion than a academy giving me an award. That little trophy doesn't really mean anything. Because, they could have 1,000 of those and then have fans that hate them. So would you rather be loved by the business or loved by the people that makes your business possible?
Followed with this tour with The Weeknd, which was the fourth highest grossing tour of 2025. He also followed up with this tour in the fall. Now 2025 was a big year for hip hop, which means it was a very competitive year for the best rap album category. However, it was no question that Cardi deserved the nomination. But when the nominees were announced, Cardi didn't receive a single nomination. Like The Weeknd, even his singles weren't nominated. I understand that some of his music isn't for everyone, but massive tracks like Evil Jordan and Rather Lie deserved recognition. He also joined The Weeknd's performance for the 67th Grammys, so people thought he was on good terms with the Academy. Cardi stayed silent amid the controversy, but Travis Scott used the Grammy's own stage to air his frustration. Unlike Cardi, Travis actually had quite a few nominations in the past, but it was mostly for other people's projects. However, 2019 was supposed to be Travis's year. The acclaimed album, Astroworld, changed hip-hop. Astroworld was the biggest album of the year, going 6 times platinum. His track Sicko Mode with Drake was the banger of the year, making it Scott's first #1 on the Billboard 100. It was also the highest grossing rap tour of 2019, and rightfully so. No one performed like Travis. This tour solidified him as one of the best live artists with his powerful engagement with the audience. Travis's dedication landed him a Super Bowl spot, a Netflix documentary, and even an annual music festival, which did not age too well. All of these factors landed him a nomination for Best Rap Album. Most listeners would agree that this was the best rap album nominated, but suddenly the world was shook.
And the Grammy goes to Invasion of Privacy, Cardi B.
This went down as one of the most controversial moments in Grammy history. Although Cardi B's album was decent, Astroworld was one of the most impactful albums of all time. Rightfully so, Travis was visibly upset. Travis was determined to create an album so strong the Grammys couldn't ignore him. 5 years passed, and Travis released his next solo album, Utopia. Just like Astroworld, this album broke record after record. The album Circus Maximus Tour even became the 4th highest grossing rap tour of all time. Of course, Utopia received a nomination. Although it was facing up against Her Loss and Heroes and Villains, Utopia had the strongest chance.
My guy, my partner in everything I do, David, he called me. He was like, yo, we're nominated again for the Grammys. I was like, yes. Okay, this time we gotta just bring it home.
But what happened next, no one saw coming.
And the Grammy goes to Killer Mike.
Who? Fans were outraged. It'd be one thing if Travis lost against Drake or Metro Boomin, but Killer Mike? Of course, Travis was fuming. So much to the point that he called out the Grammys on their own show. Travis was nominated for 10 Grammys, but didn't win any. Even Fiend, his most popular track from Utopia, and one of the most streamed songs of 2023, failed to receive.
Me personally, I think the song Fiend could have won him a Grammy itself. It was such a good song. Everybody knows about Fiend. And Utopia was a world-breaking album for sure.
A Grammy nomination. So why do the Grammys sleep on these artists? Well, it could be a number of reasons. Each one of these artists are fairly controversial. Travis received backlash for the death of multiple fans during his Astroworld festival. Cardi has been exposed for domestic abuse and past relationships. And The Weeknd didn't do too much, but he did release a controversial TV show. But hip-hop is also a pretty divided genre. Listeners either love it or they hate it. The Grammys usually choose albums that fit the stereotypical mold. So if a rap or pop album doesn't fit the mold, then the Grammy...
Nah, yeah, it's true. Yeah, they just go in with what the Academy thinks. They don't care if the people liked the albums or songs. You feel me? Which is so ass. That's what I'm saying. The Grammys don't make sense. That's why I don't watch the Grammys or fucking all those award shows. I'll be watching this shit because the award doesn't make even not the Grammys, the Emmys, or like what's the one for the actors? whatever that was called. That there's actors that went up there and basically said, I don't care about this win. I'm trying to get bigger and better. You feel me? Them shits don't really matter. It's just a trophy.
Grammys don't want it. Tyler, the Creator, even called out the Academy for this.
It sucks that whenever we, and I mean guys that look like me, do anything that's genre bending, or they always put it in a rap or urban category. When I hear that, I'm just like, why can't we just be in pop?
The Grammys are all opinion based, so there'll always be disagreements whether or not their artists fit their box. Regardless if the Grammys choose to evolve or stay stuck in their ways, one truth remains clear. Their bias has affected countless artists, often at a heavy cost.
Nah, that was a great video. Hope y'all like this video. Like and subscribe if you haven't to join the D-Money gang, and turn your post notifications so you can be notified when I upload. And I'll see you guys there. Peace.
Show me all your love.